How would you feel if your boss began screaming at his partner about getting 3 vasectomies?
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
You probably want to leave that situation as quickly as humanly possible. This is the situation presented in the episode The Dinner Party from The Office. In developing interpersonal relationships, some unfortunate situations can arise within opportune times. For example, at an event such as a holiday party or a social gathering that mixes co-workers and spouses. In these situations, unfortunate mixing of alcohol and unexposed feelings between parties may lead to an escalation. This episode from The Office demonstrates 3 key communication concepts: the Johari window of awareness, Keely-Montan's conflict model of accommodation and competition, and 3 stages of conflict. The dysfunctional interpersonal relationship between Michael and Jan is the primary conflict of this episode. First, we will dissect Michael and Jan's blindness to their lack of awareness, which emerges from Michael's accommodation of Jan's dominating character. Next, we will review the stages of conflict and how it escalates into violence. Finally, we will review how Michael switches from cooperation into a competitive method of conflict against Jan, to result into a physical display of fury. First, we will peer into Michael and Jan's quirky relationship by observing their lack of awareness to social situations.
Yes.
Wait, why didn't you just say the 49ers quarterback?
All right. Mike.
Observe Jan's
Mike.
response to Michael's
Mike turn.
enthusiasm.
Mike turn.
Babe, can you just whoa, simmer down?
What? No, I'm just making people laugh.
No.
Michael seems blissfully unaware
watching
that his
Jim.
actions are hurting Jan. This inability to understand social cues indicates that Mr. Scott is blind to a certain aspect of his personality
Michael
that
and
is
Jan seem
obvious
to
to
be
others
playing their
around
own
him.
separate game of It's Called Let's See How Uncomfortable We Can Make Our Guests, and they're both winning.
The Johari window model is used to categorize and identify how an individual perceives himself and how others perceive them. Michael Scott's lack of self-awareness demonstrates that his eagerness is a sort of blind spot for him, a blind spot that his co-workers and partner have the displeasure of being exposed to. This absence of introspection is what will trigger the escalation of conflict between him and Jan. According to the 6 phases of conflict identified by Eric Brom, this first discord is what signals the blatant emergence of conflict between Michael and Jan, a conflict that before was latent and simmering under a facade of romantic contentment. Now observe Michael's response to Jan's irritated quips.
Or should I tell it?
I don't like that story, babe.
Oh, come on, that's a cute story. I like that story. Michael ran through the sliding glass door because he thought he heard the ice cream
Stop it. I mean, I like ice cream. Okay, sue me. Oh, no, don't. I shouldn't say that because she actually will sue me. She loves to sue. That door was extremely clean and it was almost invisible.
Yeah, because before I moved in here, no one cleaned the sliding glass door, and now it's clean. I guess that makes me the devil.
She is the devil. She's the devil. I'm in hell. Help me. I'm burning. Ah!
This involuntary response of laughter to Jan being the devil and Michael feeling like he's in hell is a clear escalation of conflict between the two. Despite this quip being a joke, Michael's burning in hell comment makes it known to us that he is not so subtly self-disclosing to his guests that he sincerely feels like his relationship is a struggle. On to our second point, we will now observe how Michael and Jan handle their conflict styles against each other in regards to the Keely-Montan conflict model and the Johari window.
In this scene, Michael's strange co-worker Dwight appears at the dinner party uninvited, much to Jan's disapproval. Michael's defense of Dwight is what will signal the next significant escalation of conflict.
My friend. You said that I could not invite Dwight because we didn't have enough food. Dwight brought some food.
Watch closely at how Michael's tirade attempts to guilt Jan.
Whatever I want. It's never whatever I want. When I wanted to see Stump and you wanted to see Wicked, what did we see? Wicked. When I said I wanted to have kids and you said you wanted me to have a vasectomy, what did I do? And when you said that you might want to have kids and I wasn't so sure, who had the vasectomy reversed? And then when you said you definitely didn't want to have kids, who had it reversed back? Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. I did. You have no idea the physical toll that 3 vasectomies have on a person. And I bought this condo to fill with children.
In accordance with the Johari window, Michael is now self-disclosing to everyone how he really feels about Jan. He berates his partner for how she pressured him into giving in to her demands. This uncomfortable self-disclosure transitions Michael's intimate and private history of vasectomies into the open for everyone to know, much to their discomfort. Next, let's take special note of how Michael handled his relationship with Jan in the past. In Wilmot and Hawker's 6th edition of Interpersonal Conflict, the two researchers cite the Kilman-Thomas conflict model as a system for identifying different styles of conflict resolution. From this, we can gather that Michael took a method of accommodation towards Jan. Jan herself used a strategy of competing against Michael. She was out to win these arguments, leaving little room to compromise with her partner. She had no concern for Michael's personal needs. Do note that this outburst from Michael demonstrates that a major power dynamic in their relationship has changed. Michael is transitioning from an accommodating style of conflict resolution to one of competition.
Into this screwed up world, okay? But if you want to have a fucking kid, let's have a kid. Fine, you win.
You mean it? You want to have a kid?
I hate my life.
Jan is now on the defense, and when faced with resistance, she opts for avoidance to end this quarrel. Finally, we will transition into discussing how Michael and Jan's conflict shall escalate into its emotional climax in respect to Brahm's stages of conflict and the Kilman-Thomas model.
Not do that, babe. It's disgusting.
The after effects of this
You don't
scene's
have soft
escalation
teeth.
are pushing Jan
How
and
could you say
Michael
that?
towards a direct collision course. On the Kilman-Thomas
Excuse me.
model, Michael has entered into full competition with Jan. He intends to reign victorious in this domestic fight. Michael is hanging up his beer sign against the wishes of Jan. Witness
Everybody
Jan's
enjoying their day.
retaliation.
Babe, can we just take the beer sign down until our guests leave and then we can discuss it?
No, I'm going to leave it up. I think it ties the whole room together.
She has now decided to take a direct strategy of competition against Michael by turning on a CD written by her presumed ex-lover. This will mark the final and most severe escalation.
Jan thinks Hunter is very talented. You know what?
At least he's an artist.
BFD, I'm a screenwriter.
And I'm a candle maker, but you don't hear me bragging about it.
No, because all you do is get me to invest in my rich friends for you.
It's an investment opportunity.
Man, I would love to burn your candles.
You burn it, you buy it.
Oh, good. I'll be your first customer.
You'll hardly be my first.
That's what she said.
Nancy Radford identifies in her 2018 book, Conflict First Aid, that a possible key reason for this relational struggle is because of Michael and Jan's desire for power in their relationship. Both were managers at Dunder Mifflin. With Jan out of a job and nowhere to exercise control, it makes sense that she would try to struggle for dominance over her partner.
That is a $200 plasma screen TV. You break it, you buy it. Try paying me back on your $0 a month salary.
Whoa! Now that's an escalation, and more precisely the climax of this affair. Jan's violent destruction of Michael's personal property is the demarcation point in their relationship between escalation and de-escalation. This failure of a dinner party will resolve next episode with the disintegration of this relationship. In conclusion, the dinner party is an excellent example of the steps, conflict resolutions, and ways in which interpersonal conflict can operate.
In regards to our thesis statement, we demonstrated and explained the three key communication concepts used by this episode, which includes the Johari window of awareness, the Kilman-Thomas conflict model of accommodation and competition, and the stages of conflict. Also, we discussed how Michael and Jan are blind to their self-awareness and how they allow their emotions to control their actions, much to the dismay of everyone else. We then compared Michael's accommodating style to Jan's competitive behavior. Finally, we reviewed how Michael and Jan escalated their conflict into full-blown confrontation. Michael and Jan are unaware they are dysfunctional, and they are unable to control their emotional outbursts. It is a fact of the matter that both of these characters are severely disturbed. The pair would do better hashing out their problems in more regulated fashion, or by disengaging before conflict erupts into violent outbursts. Let this serve as a cautionary tale of what not to do at a dinner party.
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.